Welcome to another Quantum Conversation, brought to you by AcousticHealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. Welcome, beautiful hearts. This is going to be a lovely quantum conversation today, as my guest is Mermaid Mahalia, and she is very special. She is part of the Lyra High Council family of angels, and she will be bringing through a transmission with them. But she also works with the advanced technology of whale and dolphin multidimensional consciousness. And she is initiated in the galactic frequencies by the great central sun diamond. So we're going to witness Mahala transmitting unified potency as a solar light language in today's episode. And we're going to talk about music in the water for mastery and miracles. Hi, Mahalia. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Aloha, Lauren. It's wonderful to see you and be with you again. And to all the audience, thank you for diving into the ocean with us today, into the musical mothership. Super grateful to be here.
All right. As we get started, tell us more about the musical mothership and the ocean and your understanding of the love. We see your background with the music with the dolphins. What's going on here?
Well, what science has shown and proven is that music is everywhere, and our cells are constantly singing. They're designed to sing, and therefore every sentient being is designed to sing, including our dolphins, our whales, our turtles, the ocean. And as we sing in harmony, we ascend as blissful co-creators, one who all can transport out of any old constructs into a new way of being, new bliss, new pleasure, new frequency of life-giving energy, what I call self-regulating or self-regeneration. And the dolphins are natural healers. They help to heal each other in the ocean if they have any issues or difficulties. And they do it with their sonar, their ultrasonic and infrasonic sounds. And so around us is plasma. We're surrounded by water all the time. So being a mermaid, I'm mermaid with legs, human legs, and or in the ocean with a tail. And that's because we're always breathing in water vapor. And we're also always breathing in stardust. Our body is made of 98% stardust. So we're one with the stars and the planets. We're one in water all the time, constantly inhaling, drinking in water vapor, being bathed by water, which I call the mothership. And she listens to us. She hears and feels our thoughts and our dreams and wishes. And she helps to manifest with us, to grant our dreams and wishes. And the whale and dolphin multidimensional consciousness are an incredible addition to assist humanity, especially at this time in our journey of ascension, to better awaken our brains and awaken our biology to be more avatar, like in our alchemy, in our ability to utilize our voice, utilize our cells as these singing instruments, and our central channel, our spine, as a rainbow bridge to heaven, the heaven within inside of our brain and above in our field, and bring it on down right here to earth, because it's time. Heaven on earth is ready to be seen, felt, and heard. It's always been here. It's just now the human heart is also opening to the music, to the harmonics of this higher frequencies of the whales and dolphins and mermaids and mermen and dragons and unicorns and Sasquatch and other what have been mythical beings from and throughout history in books and all kinds of people have had magical encounters around the world, are actually here coming in hot to assist humanity with this greater awakening that we're into right now. And it's super fun and exciting.
It is super fun and exciting. That is, if you're able to clear through the baggage, the trauma. There's so many that are, as we awaken, that are still on that path of doing the clearing. And so how do the dolphins and the water and your own intel, how does that help you clear? Are you still clearing baggage? Do you still have triggers that come up, or would you say that you've pretty much done the heavy lifting? What's your journey like?
Awesome questions, Lauren. It's an ongoing journey, right? To constantly reassess and reevaluate our inner world. And are we feeling light and free? Are we living in our dreams? Are we having the success we believe is possible? Are we manifesting, creating? Are we or are we feeling that heaviness? So I feel like the past 10 years, let's say, since I acknowledged that I had unresolved concussions and other unresolved traumas, emotional traumas, all kinds of things that I've written about in my book, The Medical Musician, which is launching with you here today, is this the whale delta frequencies have over these 10 years, I'll say, helped a lot with what they do with their deeper delta tones is help meet any trauma in the body. And this is what I've discovered with many clients and students who have carried their heavy baggage of trauma and the burden that it comes with symptomology and just ongoing repeat patterns, which is the definition of insanity, is the delta tone meets what I call dense, heavy trauma as a shadow frequency or a mask frequency. I liken it to oboe in the book because it gives people a visual. It's this being that's kind of octopus-like that can stick to us. So when we get enough voltage to meet trauma and integrate it, then we can melt it, we can dissolve it, and we create space then for the evolution of our cells, our singing cells, to sing more vividly, more brightly. And as our cells sing, we are then in what is termed neural acoustic regenesis. And in that state, we can reach the immortality of a cell or the consciousness of each cell and liberate our DNA codes, the diamond codes for ascension, for high order. That means like you, the listeners, are our avatar by nature. You have superpowers by nature. Bliss is your birthright by nature. However, we weren't really taught that, or not all of us were when we were brought into this world and growing up, especially with our history of trauma around the world globally and the trauma to Mother Earth. So yes, I've lifted the most of my burdens, I feel, and am really grateful that the Lyra High Council of Angels, the Whale and Dolphin Families of Light and Sound, and the Great Central Sun Scalar Essence, the Diamond frequencies, have helped me get this book out, to get the message out, to help people to let the past go with sound, with the power of their own voice, with cymatics, and then to dance in their freedom, their birthright of self-regeneration. So I hope that makes sense. But yes, it's an ongoing, if we're committed and if we want to really truly ascend and transcend our own self, the self that we thought we were, and step into a new self and a new expression, then we must be willing to catch the automatic negative thoughts that every human has that comes in when we may be triggered by an event, a person, a situation, and be willing to use our humming, our hamagas, our different sounds of release to get back into positivity, to get back into thinking clearly to get back into self-regulating for bliss and for health. Like, to not create disease in the body or lack of ease means we're catching our internal dialogue and the free will, the stories we make up because of imagination or misdirected imagination, and instead choosing to create. So let's say, for example, for me to build the Academy of Brain Bliss and all the programs pretty much on my own, and to then write the book here was and took the conscious direction of my imagination into direct application, where those that continue suffering, and if they're in that place right now, it's a bit of a misdirected creativity, let's say. So it's going into destruction as opposed to creation. Imagination is one of our golden keys, and it's what I believe many mystics in the past have reminded us of. So we're just saying, use the imagination wisely and create good, positive things with it to help elevate us and elevate you especially, because this musical instrument is exquisite. It's designed for recovery. It's designed for connection to the invisible realm, to the physics of the invisible realm that is sacred geometry, that is symbols of peace and enlightenment and ecstasy, that is healing remedies right here, like in the air we breathe. I call it, there's sky gold out here. There's adamantine particles that Master Beloved Jesus has shared with us. There are colloids direct from the sun, and there are stardust particles everywhere. So use it. If we use it consciously, we can move mountains. We can, the sky's the limit. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, we're going to talk more about music as medicine and the medical musician. And we're excited for your new book. Congratulations, by the way. Absolutely. We're going to get there in that conversation and talk more, but I'm curious to know about the Lyran High Council family of angels and how you knew you were connected to that and what your mission is in that role.
It took me into my late 30s, let's say early 40s, to really, really understand who the Lyrans were, and that they were with me and around me, and that I was their cosmic daughter, a family, a group of these beautiful, beautiful angels. When I was a child, I would hike up on a little hill behind our house and pick little crocus flowers, and just remember feeling my ears tuning into something other than what I was seeing in the 3D world. And now when I look back, I know it was the Lyrans. They were just gently preparing me, I believe, for my journey in this lifetime. And then, well, in about a period of a year, I met 6 different medical intuitives, mystics, psychics, all randomly, all completely serendipitously, who each and every one of them told me that there were these tall, tree-like selenite crystal beings all around me, 5, 6 of them, a family of them, and that they were highly acoustic, highly sentient. They were very sensual, very no ego, like they're angels. So they're beautiful. They're so sweet. And Lyra itself is closest to the portal of the great central sun, which in my understanding and all my visions has to do with the opening to the Garden of Eden, to heaven, to where beings live in harmony and peace with one another, where we're meant to be like that here on earth. We're meant to live like the Lyrans, or Lyrans, some people call them that, or the Pleiadians, who have also brought me a gift about 2 years ago, and the Lemurians are cousins to the Lyrans, who have spent time with the Lemurians in the city of Talos. and witness them in their choir of their amazing singing for humanity to help raise our vibration and help us understand that we are worthy of total peace and health and a feeling of safety and comfort and nourishment, endless nourishment, that there is no lack, there is no limit to what we can create and what we can manifest, just as the beautiful beloved Christ manifested food and the doors opening for people to understand that. So when I understood that, well, it took 6 different people to help me let it sink in that these beings were with me, and that around that same time, I discovered I had all this unresolved trauma, and then I started neurofeedback, and then I ended up being activated by the humpback whales off of Maui and the spinner dolphins off of Big Island, and then my my clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience, my sonic hearing got activated again. I was able to have X-ray vision just like dolphins do. And then the Lyrans started coming in more where I could actually see them. And then now, well, over these few years, it's gotten to where I instantly think of them. They actually go, I witness them, and I wouldn't say I guide them, but in one thought, they will go to a person's side and help them through a very challenging time, whether it's an emotional time or a physical time. And they will go to anyone and everyone. They've given me this crystalline lotus temple in the etheric realm that I actually place my students in or people in to have their frequency amplified by the Lyrans. It's phenomenal. And the miracles that have come just from that. So that happens with a thought to the Lyrans, and then it happens with like in the silent realm. I don't open my mouth and say words. Okay, Lyrans, it's time. Let's do this. It's a thought. I witness it then in the dream world, my dream body. I witness that person being put in this beautiful lotus. It's like I used to call it an incubation chamber, where they were getting these frequency nutrients to remember the DNA is I call it disco funk, like junk DNA is disco funk DNA, because our cells dance and sing. So the Lyrans then they amp up the dancing, singing potential of our cells. Does it happen for everyone the same way? No, it's very organic and very unique. And is it safe? Yes. If a person, they will only receive how much that they're willing to take in or that their body can handle or utilize. It's quite wild actually how it happens so quickly. Like there's testimonies in the book and on my website. I won't get into that right now, but so the Lyrans work with other star nations. And those, like the Pleiadians, we know are in Diamond Earth. They're in inner Earth. They're here walking among us. They're pinkish in nature. They're so sweet too. They're bringing codes of transformation for us. And the Lyrans, so it's like they're a big family that want to hug us. They want to hold us. They want us to know that we're safe, to trust in our abilities as star beings. So when I say star beings, it's a biological fact, phenomenon. Like we are made of stardust. And so if we are, right, and it's in our bones and bone marrow, then we're coded with the planetary intelligence. And you think about how the stardust falls into the ocean, how the planets and the wisdom of all the planets falls into the ocean. Well, the whales and dolphins and turtles and sharks and mermaids and mermen and shells and all kinds of goodies, the coral are receiving that wisdom as well. And so we're all connected. We're with the ocean. We are earth body. We're water body. We're in the mothership. We're in music. We can't get away from it. So why not sing in tune with regards to resolving trauma, letting the baggage go, which is like a big dark blanket over our musical nature. Let's take the cloak off or the blanket off and sing with each other the way that the Lyrans do, the way they've shown that to me, the way that Lemurians do, and the Pleiadians. This isn't also, not that I don't want to just not speak of the other ones like the Arcturians. I have an amazing Arcturian hybrid friend in Sedona who confirmed so much for me also about the Lyrans when I started to see them. And I noticed with some clients, I would do a Lyran transmission, or what I call now Illumina Radiance, Illumina Essence. Illumina is like the scalar sexy lioness cat that is the accumulation of the Lyrans, the whale and dolphins, the great central sun diamond energy. It's like on turbo boost, I guess, if you will. But he helped me understand that, because I would say, well, sometimes my clients would come back to me 6 months after a 20-minute transmission, or they came on the Global Bliss free transmission I've been doing for years, and they either get knocked out and sleep for hours, and then they would reach out 6 months later, and I would ask my Arcturian hybrid friend, what's going on? Why is it this 6-month time frame? He said, well, the Lyrans are like 1,000 light years away from here. So if they're bilocating and they're interfacing with me, let's say with my consciousness or my field, and I'm sending a transmission that's super amped up, high frequency from them, and then it takes the human body up to 6 months to digest all that nutrient, to take it all in, and then have their transformation. So, like, man, we got help everywhere. If people are willing to just be willing, be curious to more of the angels that are here, the archangels and our guides. I know many of the listeners here are aware of their guides and angels and utilize them and listen and trust. Like, think about us when we were little kids. Not sure about you, Lauren, but I had imaginary friends. I talked to them. And to me now as an adult, it's no different. And I'm still like a kid. So to keep the innocence flowing, and then just to be curious, are there non-benevolent beings? I think that everything at some point returns to light. However, there may be some that we may not want to have conversations with. So this is where it's important to have wholeness in the body temple. This is an instrument of divine design by Source Creator that is meant to transmute through what I call the triangle of transmission, the mother of pearl pyramid temple here in the brain, the skull, with linked to the sphenoid bone. This is an eternal self-regulating mechanism right in here. So if we let the brain optimize, we let our instrument optimize, we connect with the higher divine orchestra, God source will help us. It's not like we got to do it alone as is individuals. We will be helped and served, but it does again take that willingness to let go of perceptions or meanings that we give things, like I never knew I'd become a mermaid. It was never a goal of mine or a thought of mine. It was willingness, like letting source utilize this instrument. Okay, so that's I guess I'm going on and on. I hope it's okay, but just sharing, like I love it. It's like I love seeing my people light up. I love knowing that they're getting their bliss codes, they're clearing, they're facing, they're looking at karmic cycles, they're looking at ancestral generational programs. It's unhooking now, it's shifting now. Yes, like to identify with the who you are as a cosmic being, not who your parents were. God bless them and their best effort, however that showed up for you, but that it's your time now to know your divinity, to know what are you connected to in the invisible realm? And the whales and dolphins, like these magical beings, so they're available to everyone anytime, 24/7, everywhere on this planet and probably other planets to tune into. The founder of Greenpeace had direct communication with the multidimensional whales in order to start Orca Labs. It's and just like everyday people are talking with these beings, and they're here to help us. So it's okay to ask for their help. It's great to sing with them. And yeah, did that answer your question?
Oh my goodness. And so much more. It is really quite beautiful. So I'm hearing a question from our audience, just in the common sense question that would arise, connecting with the higher divine orchestra. And we are a musical instrument. No wonder we love singing or humming. And just that, music can take us into a realm, and we won't talk about music, commercial radio, and that sort of thing. Even that music will lift us, and singing makes us feel better. But you're talking about this on an even deeper level. It's not just singing songs that we may hear from our favorite artists, but what does this mean to connect with the higher divine orchestra? I think we all want that. Do we just let it flow? Do we just start toning? I've got experiences of toning, which in my reality, it works. It has revived a baby owl who flew into my window, a bird that my cat brought in. Animals respond to the toning. Is that what's going on here? Is that the connection to the higher divine orchestra that you're speaking of, or what's going on?
Absolutely, Lauren. And I bet many of the listeners have had transcendental experiences, say in a sound bath or with gongs or crystal bowls, or they play their own, or just chimes, or using their own voice to sing, or going to a favorite song while they're driving and they get into their alpha brainwave state, or they go up into a bit of theta and have some magical experience, an angelic choir coming down and singing to them. And then, yes, birds chirping and singing. God asked birds to sing, to crack the codes of creation inside of seeds. So, so that a seed, an oak tree seed, could crack open and produce an oak tree. That we love the birds to sing. So as we hear birds singing, they're cracking the seeds of creation within our seeds inside of our mind, our seed thoughts. It's phenomenal. And so that is definitely all of that, yes, all of that, yes. And then we go to the next level, which is super yummy and deep in the ocean of devotion. Inside of the body temple is the cells singing so profoundly that we are lit up in ecstasy. So as I'm here speaking with you right now, my body feels lit up. And in that lit up state, it becomes a vibration or a frequency that it travels outside of this instrument as its own self-regulating orchestra. And then as I'm walking in nature, or what I've been noticing lately, anytime I see a dog, they come and they just come up and want to cuddle with me, or they just lie down at my feet. It's wild. So they're feeling that. So animals, yeah, they're resonating with our inner vibration. And then getting to the orchestra of the heavenly orchestra, what I was shown through many layers, we move through the ego, right? And then the big event horizon into the Garden of Eden vibration, which is hovering around us, and the Mother Earth's Kundalini she's moving, she's waking up too, like her bliss is coming up even more as well. So we go up, we come to the highest octave. So We know it's in the Bible. We know it's scientists have spoken of sound as the original, or the word and sound, and then, well, what comes before sound? Is it light? Is it frequency? Then vibration, sound. So to me, the highest octave is the frequency of God's heart. It's the highest of love. It's the purest of love, that as a human, in our heart, we have what is called the bundle of hiss, a little beautiful bundle. Think about a living sparkle in our heart that nature, God has put in us to, as a generator with the highest octave, the original music of the God heart. And that is in us, sparkling all the time. So if we have trauma and we are in addiction and we're in free will away from God's will, or let's say God's octave, which sparkles here always until we transition to our next experience, is this ever replenishing music right here in this ocean body, this ever replenishing music that communicates with other instruments, and it communicates with nature. So I had an experience in the forest once where, and also my plants. So there's a technology from that came years ago from Damanhur, Italy, that where you can hook it up to your plants and actually hear your plants sing. So I was with a group of people on Granville Island, and my anthurium and split leaf rhododendron both sang different music. And Lauren, you know this because you have these recordings as well. So think about that, but being in a huge forest and then being surrounded by like these tree angels all singing in a choir, cedar trees, and then at the same time, all of a sudden, more third eye opening, the pineal gland, the rhombohedron crystals just lit up, and you can see the geometry of the music. so that was amazing. So the geometry of the music of nature, extraordinary, basically indescribable beauty in our hearts as a spark of an ever replenishing God's octave, highest order, that if we would just turn our attention there, we'd use our free will to turn our attention here to God's will, and then we combine our willpower with that, then we can heal, I would say instantly. I've seen phenomenal instant miracles over these years. And I don't want to make any claims. Also, when I say medical musician, I am not a doctor. Medicine has to do with something that is out, that we put back in, or we shift from what it was to something new. So as a musician, as a one who uses the voice or uses the invisible music in the mothership, then we can alter reality in the human body. And this is what every human has the ability to do. So when I say miracles, it's because the miracle already is in you. It's already there. And my job is what I have dedicated my life to, and how I've manifested even this book, is because I combined the spark of my heart, God's will, God's highest octave, with my free will and willpower to direct it to take me up, and whoever chooses to read it or enjoy it, that is to lift them up to their higher musicianship in the mothership. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, I've been kind of in a hermit the last few months, writing, blah, blah, blah.
That's great. Really birthing this new thing. And we're going to talk about ways people can get that book. It's in your special offer. We're going to put the link in our chat line. Before we even get there, though, I want to talk about, and you're going to do a process as well. And the Lyran High Council wants to come in and share the frequency nutrients, as you call it. I love that. But you're also talking about heavenly holograms, creating heavenly holograms. Is that what we're doing when we're tuning in to this music? What is a heavenly hologram and how do we create them?
Think of when you're singing your favorite song, you're driving your car, you're at home and you're singing. What's coming out of your voice is a hologram, or we can call it a cymatic, or what the dolphins produce is coined by John Stuart Reid, a cymaglyph, and it's the shape of sound, and it's a symbol. So we can call it also a mandala, a sacred shape. So I love the idea of heavenly hologram because heaven's in our heart, right? If that music is there, and then when we use our voice with conscious intention, like let's say a friend has pain in their shoulder, and I use X-ray vision. I look in, oh, I see that the pain is there's shadow there, and I want to dematerialize, and I want to help the geometry of the heaven inside of this person's body, the music inside of this person's body. I want to conduct or a different tune, which would come out as a hologram into what was there. So it's like tuning an instrument, like a guitar strings or piano, or even a drum kit or a horn instrument is, well, we've got to tune the shoulder up. So I'm going to use my voice to release a code, a hologram, or a sigil. Sometimes I look down, I got to remember the camera's up there, is to tune it up, let's say. Okay, so say you're singing and you're not thinking about the words you're singing, you're just singing da da da. Well, there's still holograms coming out. There are still sigils. You can use any of those words to put in and fill in this blank here. Heavenly sigil, heavenly cymatic. And so wouldn't it be great if when you're singing, you were conscious, or you were speaking out an affirmation and you were conscious, and then you consciously combined the central channel, your Kundalini energy, your bundle of His, the heart here, the heavenly highest octave, with your triangle of transmission, the mother of pearl potency, and the dental bliss of your teeth, the memory chips here, millions of bits of information in each tooth, and it's coming through, and you're deciding, well, I want to manifest an amazing parking spot right now. So you go, ooh, or you sound out, ooh, and you create a shape that travels into the mothership, this field of infinite possibility, and it knows exactly how to construct or instruct a rock star parking spot for you. And I bet many of you have experienced that. So think about it on a whole other level as, okay, well, I'm going to make a heavenly hologram for this friend who has this sore shoulder, and I might go right up in person to that, right up to their shoulder physically, and go and blow a whale tone in there, or another shape. Now you may be asking, well, how do I know I'm making the right shape, the right heavenly hologram? Is it coming from your heavenly heart, or is it coming from thinking, from sometimes ego, from getting it right? I'm going to do this. It must come from innocence. It must come from vulnerability and transparency. It must come from nature itself. So the ego mind gets out of the way and says, okay, I am this instrument that's going to sing, this heavenly hologram that is going to be a nutrient for the tuning of this instrument. And then it comes out. And what happens is nature then knows how to work alongside the innate intelligence of this biology, That's probably the easiest way I can say it, if that makes sense. And I've tried to describe it in the book because it's what I've experienced with the whale and dolphin sounds and the Lyran inaudibles. So yeah, did that
Wow,
answer your question?
absolutely. Thank you. So that really feels empowering for all of us to use our voice in a beautiful way. There's one in our chat line who says, I don't sing, but that does not matter whether we sing or not, or we've had full training of it. Just the use of our voice, as you're going to show us in a process here soon, that is powerful because that's our mind coming in, right? Would this be an example of the mind coming in saying, oh, you can't sing, who are you, you've never been trained, you don't sound good? Or if we hear ourselves singing, we're like, oh, that doesn't sound like me, or whatever. But we can use the tones, and we know sound healing science is revealing that our voice is scalar energy. Tone is scalar energy, and scalar energy is God's source energy, and it knows exactly where to go. So when you're talking about the mothership, knowing where to put that and how to configure it, is that what's going on?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. And to those who don't say they don't sing, or just are shy even, or worried about how they sound, I love to really emphasize this. It's not about singing tune. It's about singing from the heart. Totally different, totally different. I still do not sing in tune. And I was teased most of my life for my voice. I was told to lip sync happy birthday when I was younger at birthday parties. And because so to break free from that and say, well, it's not even about being in tune or being like a performer, like one of your favorite musical artists. It's know that this, so it's like, yes, be your number one fan of your own voice, because it's science has also proven, and through Dr. Tomatis's work of gating and using the human voice, it was discovered that our voice is our own healer. Like, so my voice has helped others, but ultimately I like to teach people to use their own voice because it travels in the ears, it works in the acoustic chambers of the ears, and it resonates into the brain. And so there's many reasons to use our own voice. And what I've discovered with students using their voice, even through the soul song sessions, is that their voice is liberating. And back in the day when I was so embarrassed about my voice and I knew that I couldn't sing, in fact, I'm in a band and we have 2 performances in May, and I'm a backup singer and I still can't sing in tune, but they let me kind of free flow and I do that. And it's about having fun, right? And being childlike, but backing up to and I actually had vocal coaching when I was younger, and I had 2 opera singing trainers who really gave up on me because I couldn't do it. So the key is being organic, and it's being natural, and it's just letting it go. So when I used to be very monotone, and my voice just put people to sleep because it was so monotone. But what people will discover is, as they use their voice, because their voice optimizes their brain, it's natural. Then their brain waves are going to be massaged. Their cellular, like the neural pathways, are going to be massaged by their voice. And what happens is a greater intonation starts happening. So I'm able to go lower, I'm able to go higher, I'm able to control it a little bit more. I've stretched the vocal folds a little bit more. And I always say to people, be very gentle. Do not force sound out. Do not be overly loud. Sometimes when I do a live brain bliss sound bath, I get very loud, and there's a scientific reason for that. It is for biological decoding. Sometimes the ego can be so strong, it's like a hammerhead shark on the beautiful, exquisite nature. Not that I don't love sharks, but it's just a metaphor for being a hammerhead, you know. Like, and trauma can do that. It creates a helmet on our music of the brain. And that's how I was when I had my 7 concussions, and I had a helmet on my brain. And in fact, that helmet became an attractor factor where I kept attracting more and more bumps to the head. And I was klutzy, clumsy, I stuttered, I had panic attacks, short and long-term memory loss. I was bipolar, early onset dementia, and ADD, ADHD symptoms, the list. And I was going to probably die young if I did not save my brain. And I am passionate to get my message across. I'm getting tears now. Oh, it's just, there's so many people in the world right now with unresolved trauma, and especially with concussions. And stress because of unresolved trauma. For me and for most of those people, stress and stress addiction becomes the number one killer on our planet. So I had stress addiction and had to retrain my brain and body out of it. And I sadly witnessed people close to me in the stress addiction, because I know they are not able to see the trauma body. And you know, not everyone's ready for that, but those that are, and they see, just say 100 of us or say 1,000 of us, if we are with this amazing highest octave in our hearts, and we are saying, yes, I want to be this instrument, I want to be this in tune, and we around the world, wherever we are, and we're all in that higher frequency. And it's not about one's better than the other. This is not about that. It has to do with individual instrument performing at its highest ability. Then our frequency in silence will move mountains for someone who perhaps has not been able to face the biological challenges, and then they will get support, they will get the love, they will get the music, however that looks for them, and it will dance in their bodies however it needs to. But we don't control that. We remain interdependent. We remain as much as we can in our own song, and then we collaborate together as a larger humanity, creating a larger orchestra, if you will, or band. Like, we could be, you know, funk, disco, country, whatever. Let's sing together. Let's perform together.
Let's do it. Oh my goodness. And when I saw a vision of New Earth, I saw everyone living in this way, living authentically, singing and dancing in this way. And wow, so beautiful. Really, really exquisite. We're going to take some questions that I see in our chat box in just a moment. Can you take us on a journey or a process with your voice? And hopefully that can activate us into stepping into this skill ourselves.
I would love to, Lauren, thank you. And I want to invite people to relax their shoulders, relax their neck, become liquid gold. Let yourself just be sensual in your sentient body, in your instrument, and put attention on the spine, which is 33 vertebrae, which is a ladder to heaven, which is each vertebrae a sacred site, a temple of sheer devotion that is tended to by the goddess of mercy. And think about a diamond in your beautiful brain, just a prismatic diamond, and a prismatic diamond in your beautiful heart, and a prismatic diamond in your sacrum tailbone area. Okay. And For some of you, this transmission may cause you to want to have a nap after. So please know that that's wonderful. And so light language or soul language, everyone has the ability to do. And it can come through hand mudras. So you're going to see my hands move. You may experience a bit of a Lyran lullaby, but they don't speak in words, human words. I'm able to translate what they're saying, but I will say it in the light language that has come through me. This is a transmission for your heavenly ascension to your highest attunement of your glorious musical instrument and your dance in the musical mothership, the body of water that we are hugged by 24/7. What iwa what kujum no enya kiokukuam. Jo ot it eot moko im we et maya kunyarama. Ojon mito kiera kozo ojo ena ma uetioa. Ma wet an ukan in ma o em iwa kuakua. Tansi kyoko tioko et san mojo ojo. Edat mit we kyoro en ham ojoe ku aumu. Ewa kyoko zo an am a I oe wat au kuja ans wet kyoko o em a u. Rotan mi wawa kiwara nitieti orama mu. Free up the throat chakra kun dit orokon o ehe to kiujumu. Dat man muja akio kudanna. Hewa wa kut ot san muj out et man kiuratara. Jo man yara we tukut ot au hewa wat hua kun hua ama at anhan et ran krokuto tan muj ewa wat ham ot mi kut ajo do it protoe rom ha kuj mam babies of the sea. Connect with the dolphins. Ujan mit mut man yiro. Protect the dolphins. Joshunan wa aukua. Haya to kinyara muto kia. The Lyrans want to help lift in your temple area, the sphenoid bone through the roof of the mouth here. Ga, 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 ga. Arankanka, Joshmushansuru kutu. It's the gateway to your eternal radiance. Mot miwawat au kujun. Miwat mukutote. Ora kujans it on kakumo anyara. Ew. Jojon. Ewa mahan kutanit mujens uru. Yara. Ewe hen. Ujanat samakio kotat mierokuma.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that beautiful activation. Ah, Wonderful. We would love to hear from our Zoom audience. How was that for you? The light language was palpable inside the body, and we just want to go sing and dance right now. That's really how I'm feeling.
Yay.
There's no words. There's no words. There's just happiness and joy and peace. Alyssa said it was very emotional for her, beautiful and very emotional. That's interesting because we're remembering this bliss and this peace. And that could be what gets emotional. And Debbie says, I can feel it in my head, jaw, and teeth. Wow, so powerful. Debbie also said earlier that even though she doesn't sing, she uses her voice in meditation and in hypnosis, healing scripts, and Reiki. Is that also a way to construct and tune up someone in their body and mind? Would just my voice and speech be a heavenly hologram as well?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, with good positive intention and use it lots.
Others are saying feeling so calm, still, and oh so peaceful. Really wonderful to hear we heard the whale come through, whale song come through, and so much more. It really is beautiful. Pippa has a comment. My cat was singing along too. Animals love this. Animals get it. It is
They
quite,
really do.
yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. So thank you again for that. We are feeling and floating like bliss. And we are going to open this up for questions. If you have a question for Mahalia, please go ahead and share that. Here's one question. It kind of came from Sherry or Cherie. Mermaids and voice, question mark. So share a little bit more about you recalling your mermaidness and the voice. How are those two related?
Great question. Thank you. The activation with the whales and dolphins happened before the mermaid embodiment from the astral realm came in. And it was a trip to Big Island that I met Mermaid Viana, and she had a tail for me. So all of a sudden I was in the ocean with a mermaid tail on, and there was 3 gorgeous Hawaiian sea turtles, big guys swimming right near us. We swam basically right by them and with our tails on, and it was my first time in the water experiencing that. And yet at the time, because I never thought of mermaids very much, I honestly, and I didn't tie the vocals with, because I'd already been doing whale and dolphin toning, but I didn't connect the mermaid dots with it all quite yet, until I got, I was in Canada in White Rock, and for 3 weeks, let's say the magic 21 days, I was awoken out of my bed every morning early, and spirit took me to the beach a few blocks away from my house. And it's an ocean there I would never normally go in for many reasons. One is because it's super cold. And anyways, for 3 weeks, 21 days in the morning, I was taken out to the waters, and I would splash around, flip and flop in the seaweed like a wild creature. But somehow my mermaid self was literally activating from the astral plane down into this 3D body temple. Then I started to understand mermaids a little bit more and realized that mermaid sirens or sirens could be seen as different than mermaids. For me, I put it all together because of course there's lots of myth and we all have our own version of how we understand things. What I have learned is that the mermaids and sirens have been given a really bad name, especially like even online in some areas. However, that you can see an influx of mermaid energy, and there's lots of tales around now and mermaid dolls and all kinds of goodies. That my understanding is sirens and mermaids were always intending to help humanity. They it could look like sailors at the sea if they were seduced by a mermaid singing from the land, or she was sitting on a rock and a sailor hopped off the boat. Is that really what happened? Or is it that the boat was going out into treacherous oceans and there was danger ahead, and the psychic ability of the mermaid already knew that, and her singing enchanted the sailors to turn around and come to land to safety? Is it possible that it's more like that? That's how I experience mermaids and sound and singing and sirens is. And that's why I'm excited for the astral projection of mermaids now on Earth. And you'll soon see more astral projections of dragons even, and of more of star beings, more Lyrians, more people speaking about them even. You'll see it's now this is the year that it's going to start really happening, because with Sedna, the sea goddess, her planet is come back around to Earth, and she is a really slow moving planet. However, she's going to be here for, I think it's something like 40 or 50 years, helping us clean those oceans. So it is going to take more mermaids and more mermen. And I believe deep down we're all mermaids and or mermen for the men out there, because we are water babies. We're lyrical, musical water beings filled with water, surrounded by water. We used to be in the mother's womb where we breathed in water. So what if it's really happening that we're breathing water right now? Of course, as I mentioned earlier, the water vapor, and that as we join together and sing as recognizing that we are water beings, it doesn't mean we're going to grow scales or, but if you want to swim in the ocean with a tail on, it's possible. And yeah, so I hope that answered your question, that the intention for peace on Earth is so deep in everyone's heart, or at least most people's hearts. I think there's been a real confusion around why there is just this repetition on pain and suffering. Like, we're done with it. It's kind of like let's leave the stage and let a whole new band get on this stage, let a whole new energy and beingness get on the stage and rock it out.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Thank you for that. As you were speaking, I wrote a note down. The Spanish word, I'm in Costa Rica and I'm learning Spanish. The Spanish word for mermaid is sirena, siren, with an A on it. Isn't that amazing?
Amazing. I love that. Sirena.
And I am on the hunt for a beautiful man. It's raining right now. I'm on the hunt for a beautiful man who saw a mermaid, and in Perita, outside or Playa Estrella, the beach of stars, there is a beautiful sculpture that was created by this man who took 40 years, saved his money, not much money, he's a fisherman. He saved his money to create this sculpture of a mermaid. And it's there, it's out in the ocean, and at low tide, you can walk out there and see it. And she's beautiful, she's a mermaid. He saw her and she enthralled him, and he spent 40 years of his life saving his money to make this statue. He's still alive. I'm on the hunt for him. Isn't that amazing?
Oh,
Isn't that amazing?
What is an angel for all those people to see that mermaid. Oh, wow. And he saved his money for that.
He saved his money.
Exquisite. Wow. It's divine. And yes, like to get back to the oceans and the mermaid, the mermaid love is like the divine feminine, she's rising up, and it's not about going against the divine masculine. It's integrating, it's balancing, it's harmonizing, it's everyone collaborating. It's the mermaid and the merman. And Lauren, I want to share, I'm right here I live on Rainbow Drive and on a gorgeous huge lake that has lake mermaids. And when I first got to this gorgeous little town, it's known as Little Switzerland. It's surrounded by pyramidal snow-capped mountains and this massive, gorgeous lake. And I drove up one day with this sutra tablet that these amazing monks in Indonesia chant 24/7 for peace and enlightenment into these slabs. I have one right here, and I was blessed to be bestowed to help all bodies of water resonate with more peace and enlightenment. Wow. And so one has been put, actually there's 3 in this lake now, it is lake. 2 were brought by the monks from Indonesia about 5 years ago. And then I was blessed to bring one and put one in the lake and have one more, the last one that's here in Canada. Now I'm saying this because I brought out the slab for the indigenous people of this land to pray, like to offer it a blessing, I guess, for their original habitat here, and for the original Mother Earth, like the honoring of Earth that they did in their time, and then for all the communities and that around here. So I pulled up and there's this lady there with her sister, and I said, I have this sutra tablet. Is there anyone that could bless? And she said yes. And we started chatting. She said, by the way, my sister and I put honey milk out and this is before she knew I was a mermaid. She said, we put honey milk on the beaches every day for the lake mermaids. And I just, my eyes went, what? And I pulled out my card, which has a picture of me swimming with my tail on. I said, I'm a mermaid showing up here at this lake. I didn't know there was lake mermaids. This is wild. So now here we are with lake mermaids, and then the African mermaids. Oh my God, the origin of the African mermaids is a whole other deep dive into the the beauty that has been in all bodies of water. And thank goodness to Sedna for coming back after she was betrayed by her father and had her fingers cut off as she was trying to save her own life, and her fingers became this is the legend, her fingers became all the whales and dolphins and sea creatures of the ocean. And she herself has also overcome that trauma of betrayal and heartbreak. And so many of us have had betrayal and heartbreak and our trust broken, and we've been misunderstood and rejected. And I'm a total, like, I call myself a bit of I'm quirky. I'm a bit of a dorky mermaid. I don't fit in. So if you don't fit in, like I don't fit in, now's the time where we can start to fit in a little bit because it's more fun to be a bit wild and weird. And I finally just let go and said, I'm going to be my weird self, and I'll just be a mermaid, and I'll make these whale and dolphin tones, because it took me years to understand the technology, and then years to rewrite many copies of the book so that it would make sense for the reader to try and understand the physics of the invisible realm when it comes to miracles, when it comes to mastery, as far as the instrument and using the voice to transform or transmute trauma and turn it into a healing power. Like I'm not actually doing it, right? It's the innate intelligence doing it, but to like just have fun with it and recognize like, whoa, we're all so creative, and to let it flow and like just be yourself, be yourself. You're so sweet. Everyone's so gorgeous. I
Be
love you.
yourself. Yes, yes, yes. That is the vision of New Earth. When I saw everybody as their authentic self, it was a wild and crazy party. It was really fun. It was hilarious, actually.
Yeah.
No judgment on anything, on anyone or anything or self, right? So that is a beautiful reminder for all of us just to have fun and be and just enjoy, be that bliss that is our birthright. Yes. Oh my gosh. Such a magical, high vibrational conversation with you, Mahalia. I think everyone is feeling that and feeling lifted. I
Yay.
I love it. So there are some questions I'm going to get to, but I wanted you to take a moment right now and share about your new book. In the chat line, there is a link to the special offer. Wherever you're watching or listening to this video, you will see a link to that special offer as well. It's a full package from you. It's got your ebook and so much more. Please tell us.
Oh, Lauren, I want to say too, I hope you find that man who made the mermaid. That'll be
Yeah.
amazing.
Still, and he's in the town, and I'm learning Spanish. Hablando español un poquito. So I cover it in Spanish with this gentleman. Yes, amazing. Okay.
Wonderful. Wow. Okay, so the medical musician is retune the symphony of your biology with the keys of creation. I had this made for an event I did, but I want the viewers to see, like, when I talk about the triangular transmission and what I understand, just like, remember, this is my own personal understanding based on my personal experience. I don't want to go against anyone else's belief system or logic or any of that. It's just personal experience. Is think about the sunlight. So the sun inside of you as an animating principle for the vibration of you, the sound, so the light and the sound. And think about the dolphins and whales getting the sunlight, and all the sun goes into the ocean, and they when they make their sounds, they triangulate. And then we have the swirl, right? The pi ratio, the Fibonacci sequence of that is the math, the sacred math that is in all of life and all of creation itself. So think about that as far as music goes. 88 keys on a piano. We can liken that to the 88 star nations, or 8 being the number of infinity, and 8 the number of, or the shape of infinity. I want also everyone to imagine a golden infinity 8 through their third ventricle, which is the pineal gland, third eye, the pituitary gland, which helps with your pleasure, sensuality, healing the body, and the hypothalamus, which lifts us up out of the limbic emotional processing brain, where we can have the habits with the lower reptilian brain when it comes to the stress response. We want to get up, 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 up here, rise up, take it up, and lift up. We also have, side note, the support of Archangel Melchizedek, Metatron, and Archangel Michael with this body of work. Kalima comes in also hot and strong sometimes too. But the reason I'm saying this is, when we create our heavenly holograms, our sigils, our cymatics, or like sacred shape, we want to, it's, if we're consciously intending, it will come out with a life force power, right? And that life force must be from a 0 point field within this body temple, this musical instrument, that comes out as a spiral, because spiral is life. Life doesn't happen in our cells in a straight line. It happens in a spiral. So the whales and dolphins have come through the book, as well as, and they, to me, are the medical musicians. And so is every one of you, when you tap into your voice. And I'm not saying like go out and start like sounding to other people right away until you're properly trained or have gone through some of my programs. But the beautiful heavenly holograms, think about how far a whale sound will travel in the ocean to communicate with their loved one. How does it communicate? It comes through a beautiful shape. And it's a symbol. And when we as a humanity start to decode symbols and we start to really understand their power and the intelligence of them, then we can understand their language and get what they're doing. But think about your biology as keys to creation, as like everything about you is sentient. Everything about you is awake, alive, and aware. You hear, feel, sense everything around you. You just may not admit it or tell other people, right? But you do. And that's where this comes in as well. It's like giving ourselves permission to say, but I do feel that, I do hear that, I do sense that. And what am I going to do about it? So when the whales and dolphins and Lyrans and the diamond suns started coming through me, I didn't trust it. I want to be honest. It took me years, including people having miracles with it, for me to trust it. And it's like the timing was right. I had an Achilles tendon injury playing softball last May 1st. And that injury represented actually dealing with family matters and finishing incompleted projects, which happened to be my book. But it got me to slow down enough that I had to look at some deeper things inside of my soul, deeper things inside of my own musical instrument, and things that needed to be let go of and reprogrammed. And so that then allowed me to really trust that I could share this message and get it out into the world at this time on this new moon, March 21st, the equinox and spring and new year and new beginnings for humanity and new life and new creative potential. So just to be clear that to have that consciousness and the intent that with your voice, it's a superpower. It's an instrument of grand design that divine gave us. And the book itself is a way to explain it the best of it I could with the guidance of the Bliss family and Illumina. So the Illumina essence, the lioness scalar energy, it's like on turbo, the scalar energy, as I said, like to just think about someone, say, with a brain issue, and just to let Illumina go in there and guide and watch. So also the Lyrans, their fingers, they're these really long acoustic instruments. I call them like ultrasonic instruments. And man, they just they go in. They actually help me. They helped me get out of a speeding ticket once. So please don't tell everybody that. But they're real. They're real, and they love us, and they want the best for us. Like I said, they want us to experience heaven on earth. And I have seen pictures of myself where my fingers look double the length. It's wild. And so I'm not trying to do it. But I guess they somehow, like, there's something, maybe it was just my soul contract for this lifetime. And those of you who are connected with your star beings, you're here to really like amp up this orchestra, like get the orgasmic ocean, this mothership really lit up, and it's yeah, let's do it. Did I answer your question? Am I supposed to talk about the programs too? Did you ask that?
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you.
Okay, so I included, this is a 4 bundle package. The 2 bonus gifts are is the Mermaid Dream CD, Return to Innocence, with 3 tracks on it: Oceans of Light, Oceans of Love, and the other one, which is, I think it's Return to Innocence. But it's the track 3 is vocalizing the endocrine system through ut, re, mi, fa, sol, la, om, which if in the book it describes, it's this graph, it's this download they gave me to help understand how we bend reality in the inaudibles. So with sonic hearing, I'm able to hear the inaudible realm of trauma, which allows me to then see it where it is in the body. And how do we have our Merkaba? How do we have a dream body? Well, it's because the inaudibles bend. Think of the iridescent realm, the pearly realms, and or the solid rainbow color realms go between audible and inaudible. We go into from solid to non-solidification. We can't help it as a human being. We're not all solid, right? We're actually only about 1% physical matter, and the rest, 99%, which is my favorite area to be in, is the imaginary realm. It's liquid gold. It's like, ooh, liquid diamond particles. It's liquid stardust that we can then dance and play with. So in the track 3, endocrine chant, you vocalize with me, ut, re, mi, fa, sol, la, om, to go through the audibles into then the inaudibles. And then the medical musician is launching with you today, Lauren, on acoustic health, quantum conversation with you, which I love so much. And we've had a few together before, and this is so exciting and such an honor for me. And the Power of 333 Brain Bliss Masterclass is one of my first programs. It's my foundational program, 12 portals for people with video, audio, and written support to deepen their experience of their brain and biology when it comes to releasing trauma and then singing in tune. It's an amazing program that I love, that the Dolphins and Whales gave to me directly. I could not have come up with those topics myself. It was their guidance the whole way. And Soul Song Sessions, which is 4 1-hour audios that the descriptor is in here somewhere that speaks to, as we spoke of earlier, is the voice freeing itself, freeing the voice, why you want to free it, what happens when you free it, how to get over judgment of the voice, to like being an instrument of these cymatics or heavenly holograms to transform the inaudible liquid nature of our being. Like, whoa, scale. It's the subtle meeting the physical, right? The scalar meeting the magnetic. So the moon in us meeting the sun in us. This beautiful masculine, feminine, divine marriage within is what we were talking about. Also, when we use our voice as a conscious instrument for creation and to transform creation. So imagine too, as well, I wanted to say the golden infinity 8 between the pineal third ventricle, getting back in here from the left and right hemispheres. Let's do a brain integration right now, where you're seeing this golden infinity 8 left to right, right to left, through the diamond of the center of your beautiful brain and the mother of pearl pyramid, which is an etheric portal inside of the field of your brain, down into the heart. So imagine a golden infinity 8 now going from the diamond of your brain through the diamond of your heart, down in through the diamond of your root. Connect this golden infinity 8 this way, please. Beautiful, beautiful. And then how I also want you to add is a third golden heart or infinity 8 through the diamond heart, because your arms, so imagine like these are instruments too, right? If we're doing mudras and we're creating shape and symbol in the field in the musical mothership, we are wanting it to be conscious too. So think of your arms like wings, your phoenix wings or your angel wings, or your instruments that move the water. And the golden infinity 8 travels through the heart. And imagine it can go all the way to the palms of your hands, all the way out to these fingertips, to the other palm of your hand here. And then even when you rub your hands together and get them nice and hot, and that the golden 8's flowing through your arms, through your body temple, through your beautiful brain, you rub, 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 you create far infrared. And you have right now, you have these glorious, glorious hands of light, these healing hands. You can put them right on yourself, on your eyes, on your throat if you want to help open things up. Rub, 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 get them nice and hot. On your heart, where you need your infrared, put it there. Watam it okushmot kanan ati kiwama dot kirajom shant titiroque arama ku an we ewa tatiera mokuja a dit kusen mi au kwama that which so there's something about the Bliss family and Illumina wanting to help you open even more at the sphenoid bone, open even more at the temple, so, and open up the ears even more, because, and this is one of the first things that happens when we start elevating our frequency, is the ears open more, because then we go back into our childlike ability of receiving inaudibles again, because that's how we could hear our invisible friends, is in inaudibles, as it was a childhood ability. So this is what the Bliss family and Illumina wants all the listeners to just now open even greater hearing. Not everyone has to contort their face like I do, but I'm contorting because it's though I am you. And it's as though your bones and my bones are adjusting at the same time. Sometimes during sessions, I flip and flop on my bed, as I am that person, not in a physical way, of course. They want also right now to do a dental cleaning, energetic cleaning. Doesn't mean don't look after your teeth physically. Please do. I take a dedicated daily effort to care for my teeth, because these teeth carry a lot of information for your genetic code. And each tooth is washed with fresh water every day. Just, and when we're releasing, where does what I call, this is kind of, just prepare for this, I call it sometimes when trauma is releasing, vocal vomit. So take that how it resonates, call it what else you want, but blah. So it goes, it goes to the womb of creation. It gets recycled. Isn't that cool? So, man, the musical mothership is miraculous, as she even recycles everything that no longer serves us. Ewe kuno mo etut kuja ayaya tsunamo ki na mukiwa, bright teeth jo ota wishan, new powerful human instrument wekioe jushoma mut wikioa kito kizo otoma dental bliss jomati ko ewe mo okani ewe oe prokotoja amawi kyo. Aloha. Yeehaw.
Wow. Wow.
I didn't know that was coming.
Vibrating. Woo. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Wow. Oh, love it. Love the vibration. Love the feeling that we're in. We are lifted so high, and we hope everyone is enjoying this. So again, we invite you to please check out Mahalia's special offer. It's beautiful. It's full of her body of work and beautiful music and her new book. So that is all there for you. Feel into your heart and work with Mahalia. She's a beautiful guide and a beautiful person to assist you on your journey. So we have time. There's one question. We can't get to all. Sorry about that, but there's a question I want to get to. And this is from Linda. Linda says, I feel so close to all of the star families you've mentioned, and also with the dolphins and whales. Our group here is really dolphin and whale and Lemurian. She asks, is the song of the dolphins and whales integrated with the star families and their messages that they bring us? Or is the sound of the dolphins and whales the wave that the message rides?
Oh, great question, Linda. Thank you. And I want to say it's both, based only on what I've been shown in personal experience, is because the Lyrans and the Pleiadians and even the Lemurian choir is, in my experience, inaudible. So most of 3D humanity is not able to hear those inaudibles as of yet. And the whales and dolphins become the carrier wave for them. Yes, yes. And where do whales and dolphins come from? Well, Sedna, our sea goddess, yes. And what I was shown also is through the Lyran planetary system, it's shaped like a lyre, an instrument. And it's also connected with the turtle back and Turtle Island, and there's a triangle there. And that triangulation has to do with the triangulation I was talking about earlier, about how we project our voice, and this pyramid that's up in here, and there's other pyramids in our body as well. But and you could look on Joan Ocean's website even about how, in her understanding and experience, dolphins appear in starships. They come down from these galactic planets or planetary systems in ships, and they look, they're a star being. They come down in under the ocean. They go into a cave where they then transform into a dolphin, and then they swim into the sea. So that is how, in a way, how I experience it. Only it's also as though through that triangle in Lyra, which that triangle is, if you were to go through it, you'd be going to the multiple layers of great, great, great central suns, to the sun diamond, the original light or king, I call him king sun or king ray or Ra. And the Lemurians honored the sun god Ra, as did the Egyptians. So then if you were to move forward from the king ray, which penetrates the queen mothership, then that creates life, is my experience, or what I was shown, is then the whales and dolphins come through this triangle down a rainbow bridge, and they come down from the Lyran triangle rainbow bridge into our oceans, as from the astral plane, just as mermaids, Sasquatch, unicorns, fairies, gnomes, our beautiful dragons come down. They're going to come down and land and then embody. So it's both. I hope that answered your question. They are the wave for the inaudibles that become audible, and the whales sing to what you'll read in the book is for the rose records. So the original record of the rose essence of unconditional love from the diamond heartbeat of Mother Earth, that's deep under the ocean and deep down in primal water, which is more water in the core of the earth than there is oceans here on above that we see above earth or around earth, primal water. The whales tend to and protect, serve, and honor the rose records. So then their sound keeps the harmonics correct, is a way to say it, through Earth's core, and for the resonance for humans. And so it's, yes, they must sing. We need whale songs. We need their service to humanity, their protection of the heartbeat of the mother. And then the dolphins frequency in an audible ping, pearl ping, is for our genetic, our DNA codes to sing in the frequency of creativity, complex communication, so we can start to speak our star language, or how I've been, light soul language, and to understand what bliss really is, as joy, as contentment, as pleasure, as working in community, collaborating as they do, and self-healing, where everyone in the tribe is focused on everyone else's well-being. Like, we want everyone well. We are not selfish in a way of disregarding someone's suffering. We, like the dolphins do, help one another. It doesn't mean that there aren't specific dolphin tribes, because there are. There's the dolphins around Big Island. There's a dolphin tribe around Maui. There's a dolphin tribe around Kauai. There's the pink dolphins in the Amazon. There's tribes of dolphins. Do different tribes of dolphins get along? It's a new level of communication. Is it easy? Not always, just like humans. However, willingness to communicate and willingness to let the vocals come out is where we can begin this healing process, whether it's on any level here in this sphere. So I hope that answered your question. Yes, we need their sounds, from audible to inaudible, audible, inaudible to audible.
Explanation, and wow, really, it helps us become so much more aware of who dolphins are, who whales are, their role here, and their power and their frequency. And no wonder we love them, and we are called to work with them, and we can receive great healing from them. So, wow. Thank you, Mahalia. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you again. We are truly hoping everyone is feeling the high vibrations from this episode, from the sonic sounds that came and activated us and step us into our new service roles for New Earth. Let's all sing and be free and share our love through our sounds. Mahalia, as we say goodbye, I want to give you a moment to share any final thoughts.
Thank you to everyone who's tuned in. Thank you, Lauren. I love you. I love your platform, what you do for humanity, the amazing guests that you have had on. I am truly, truly grateful and honored. And I wish for everyone who's here listening to celebrate today and every day, to give thanks every day and every moment, even if something is challenging you, to have a way to go into forgiveness, which the whales and dolphins help us do, to have a way to forgive. Think of the line, they know not what they do. If there is someone or something outside of you that is out of your control, perhaps, because in peace, in pleasure within your system, if you commit to that, to self-regulate, to turn on your keys of creation, it's only up from there. There's more joy and more bliss and more fun and more happiness and more contentment. It's going to be a choice away. So this is also a key point in the medical musician is, what are we choosing to focus on? Because what we focus on expands. Now is the moment of power, from Serge Gahili King's Bahuna, the urban shaman, is the choice you make from this moment forward is going to determine where you're at in a week, a month, a year, 2 years. And right now, as Pluto's coming in, we have 40 years to manifest heaven on earth here. And the technology is already here. It's been here for ages. So it's not like it's going to be hard work. It's going to, if we choose playfulness, we choose, as Lauren said, singing and dancing, her vision of the new earth, and is what I do pretty much every day here. I have a habit of buying onesies. I love onesies, and I have so I wear my onesies and I go out to gather with some friends here on the beach, and there may be a DJ there may be a band, or else I'm singing, and we're in New Earth, singing and dancing and playing and being like children, being innocent and being vulnerable and transparent and being authentic. If we get stuck in an emotion or stuck in a scary thought, it's okay. Just open up, talk to a friend about it, and you will be supported. And the Lyrians are here for everyone. They're coming in hot. The whales and dolphins, the Pleiadians, all star beings that they want the best for us. So I want to say mahalo nui loa, which is thank you very much in Hawaiian, aloha, and oceans of love and oceans of bliss and oceans of blessings and oceans of devotion. May you sing your heavenly soul song for an eternity. Mermaid kisses, whale hugs.
Oceans of devotion. Thank you, Mahalia. And thank you, all beautiful hearts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts, as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. Access all quantum conversations, special offers from our guests, and online healing retreats by visiting acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. We leave you now with music from the universe. Music literally created by the universe, as musical notes were assigned to mathematical equations. The result is this beautiful music, available at acoustichealth.com. Namaste.